Hey guys, Luna here, and welcome to a game called Storyteller. A game that
Storyteller, a book about building stories.
Turn off that narrative.
Yes.
You guys might have seen this game around on YouTube before, depending on what kind of YouTubers you watch. I've been wanting to play this game for quite some time, and I finally decided to get it. So, introduction. At the end of this book lies a crown. It is bestowed only upon the finest storytellers of the realm. Every page is empty, save for the title. It is your duty to fill these pages with the most captivating tales. Complete this book and prove yourself worthy of the title of Storyteller. Life and Death, Chapter 1, Love. Adam starts alone, finds love, and dies happy. Make a story with this title. Next is Heartbreak. Eve dies heartbroken. So, first, Adam and Eve fall in love. But then suddenly, Adam dies in a tragic accident. And Eve is heartbroken. Next is the afterlife, where seeing the ghost of a lover. So we start off with love with Adam and Eve together in love. Unfortunately, Adam perishes, but suddenly he comes back to life as a ghost. And it's totally a surprise. And finally, a miracle. Heartbreak with a happy ending. First, Adam and Eve. I know it's Eve and Adam in the order, but I've always heard it as Adam and Eve. Fall in love. But unfortunately, Eve has perished. He's broken. But through divine intervention, Eve comes back to life. And they fall in love once again. That is life and death. So there's a ceremony which is the final chapter. Interesting. So there's 14 chapters. Interesting. Well, next is a chapter of broken hearts, and the first of that is recovery. A heartbreak is healed. So I'm gonna say first there's a wedding between Edgar and Leonora, but Edgar's untimely passing led to the marriage between Leonora and Isabel without any deaths. Interesting. So, at first, Edgar and Bernard fall in love and have a wonderful wedding. Leonora wanting to fall in love with Edgar, but unfortunately cannot be as the two men fall in love. So, Leonora and Isabel fall in love and have a wedding of their own. Dismay, rejected by their own spouse. So, at first, Leonora and Edgar fall in love, but unfortunately, Edgar gets amnesia, so Leonora now adds the thing. I'm guessing that Leonora also needs to forget Leonora and Edgar fall in love and have a wonderful wedding. Unfortunately, Edgar forgets it ever happened, and so he has a wonderful wedding with Isabel. But when Leonora comes to confront him, Edgar doesn't even remember her. Now it is time to be unlucky. Everyone rejects Edgar. So I think there needs to be a wedding of Edgar and Leonora. To be a death of Edgar, and then wedding between Leonora and Isabel. And then a wedding between Isabel and Bernard. That's everyone rejecting. Oh, I have to flop this around. I need to do Isabel, and then Leonora will feel sad about you, and then there you go. Okay. Grief. Stories can use fuse frames. Surviving spouses find comfort. So Edgar and Leonora find love along with Bernard and Isabel. Unfortunately, both Edgar and Bernard end up perishing. So Leonora and Isabel find their love in each other. Chapter 3: Apparitions. Revelation. Edgar shocks himself. Uncanny. So he forgets, he looks himself in the mirror, and he dies. I think he... Oh, so he dies. He forgets that he died and looks himself in the mirror. And it's like, oh no, I died. Whatever happened? Now with reunion. Heartbroken spouses are reunited. So there's going to be a wedding between Edgar and Leonora. Leonora dies. And then she gets revived. Edgar dies. He gets revived. And then they're both surprised, but they fall in love with each other. And then they fall in love with the afterlife. So, the eyes and then she needs to be revived to see him. She needs to see him revived. Then they both need to die. Next is the calamity. Heartbreak for everyone. Edgar and Leonora fall in love with each other, but unfortunately, Leonora dies. So, Edgar and Bernard fall in love, but unfortunately, Edgar also dies. Rather Leonora and finds that her husband is dead. As aging, old heartbroken dog dies happy. So the dog and Edgar find love in a happy reunion of best man and best dog and a friendly relationship. Unfortunately, the owner eventually passes away. Time passes. Edgar is revived. And they do find each other again. And sadly perishes. Next is the cellar. Lenore drinks poison. So Edgar and Bernard find love. But unfortunately Nard has a thing for Edgar. So unfortunately she has to take her own life, like in Romeo and Juliet. Well, not exactly, but close enough. Next is tragedy. The double poison. Now this is actually Romeo and Juliet. Edgar and Lenora fall in love, but unfortunately, Edgar falls in love. Unfortunately, Edgar passes, so Lenora decides to poison herself. And Edgar comes back to life, sees Lenora dead, and decides to poison himself. Someone drinks poison twice. So we need to... So she needs to drink it twice. But she revives, so they happen to fall in love again. Actually, so they fall. Did she just drink the poison by herself? Yeah. So they need to fall in love. One of them needs to die. She comes back to life and then poison again. Yeah, there you go. It's a divine fate. It is now the haunt. Isabel is haunted by her husband, so they fall in love, but they end up fighting. So she decides to take the poison and poison the wine. So he dies. And now we're on to envy. Murder of jealousy. So Edgar and Lenora fall in love, but Isabel has a thing for Lenora, so she decides to take the poison. And she drinks the poison because of her husband. Passing it because Lenora decides to pass. She takes Isabel takes the poison as well. And now we're on to beauty, chapter 5, with the competition, which becomes the mirror's favorites. So. Into the forest, turning her into a frog. So the witch looks into the mirror and finds out that Snowy is the most wonderful woman of all. And so she decides to make herself into an older looking witch, an old hag, and turns Snowy into a frog. She turns herself back into her young witch form, and when returning to the mirror declares her the most wonderful woman. And now on to Scorn. Curse is lifted, so that the forest turns Snowy. Turns the prince. Is Snowy and the prince have a kiss? No, because it has to be last. Maybe it starts with the prince having a thing for the prince turning they fall in love. The witch turns the prince to a prince. Maybe it's the witch wants to kiss the prince and decides to turn, since the prince rejected her, turns her into a frog. Start with that. Curse is lifted. Okay, so the witch, rejected by the prince's love, turns him into a frog, and then the frog prince tells the Snowy that he's been turned into a frog, and they share a wonderful kiss, and the curse is lifted. And now with duplicity, a kiss and a curse. So the prince, so he decides to turn into a frog. She then decides to go to her younger self. They share a kiss, and he is in love with the witch's younger self. And now with deceit, Tiny gets a kiss. Wants a kiss. The witch does not like Tiny, so the witch turns Tiny into a frog. Wants to do the same thing with the prince. So the witch turns the prince into a frog as well. Snowy talks to the prince, but ends up kissing Tiny. Gets a kiss by the ungrateful maiden, and the prince saves Tiny. Interesting, okay. So okay, so it needs to end off with Prince and Tiny. So the witch finds Snowy to be the most beautiful, so the witch turns Snowy into a frog. In the forest, the prince and Snowy talk. And then, with the kiss of Witch and Tiny, Tiny also gets turned into a frog. Now we just need to... needs to be so the Prince and Snowy are together. Tiny and Snowy. I think it has to be this Prince and well, okay. I think maybe kiss with the Prince and Snowy. So she needs to be ungrateful somehow. Maybe it's not her. Maybe it's... maybe it starts off like this, where... then she gets turned into a fly. She has to tell the Tiny. Oh. She needs to tell Tiny. But also in the forest, she needs to... no, it's Tiny and Snowy. So basically it needs to go like this, because it... oh. So I basically just had to swap things around. So, the witch, mad at Snowy for being the most wonderful woman, turns her into a frog. She tells Tiny to please save her and give her a kiss to return her to normal. And so they do. Unfortunately, Tiny is not the one that she hoped would kiss her, and so when he asks to kiss her again, she refuses. And now we're on to the manor of the murder. Fed up with both the Duke and the Duchess, decides to take revenge on both of them. Revenge on the Duke feels relief. Butler, filled with rage, decides to pick up the gun and go storming off to go hunting with it. The Duke, seeing the gun missing, is stressed about it. But sometime later, the butler returns the gun, and the Duke is relieved that the gun has been Altair, murderer, is arrested. So the butler decides to take the gun and in the ballroom murder the Duke. But unfortunately, the butler feels remorse. So in the ballroom, the butler gives himself up to the detective. And now, onto fingerprints. Someone gets arrested. So the butler decides to pick up the gun and murder the Duke. The Duchess finds her husband, the Duke, dead in the ballroom, and she decides to tell the detective. So there's no gun. The gun needs to be returned. So the detective finds that there's fingerprints on it and makes the return. Replace this with so he's going to return the gun. Then someone needs to wind up dead. So okay, wait. So then Butler turns, and then so the butler picks up the knife, the gun, shoots the Duchess, and returns the gun because he knows the Duke lovingly likes to touch the gun in his free time. And the detective finds the Duke's fingerprint on the gun and not the butler, so he decides to arrest the Duke for murdering his wife. And with that, I think I'll end this episode here. And in the next episode, I'll finish through the second half of this episode. I hope you guys have a good day, night, week, month of your guys' lives. May the stars forever guide your path wherever it might lead you into the future. Bye, everybody, and hope to see you guys again next time.